Hello everyone and welcome to the Yotso Tech Tracks YouTube channel. You're joining me on my third day of this routine I'm doing this week. It's a push-pull leg routine, so third day means it's a leg workout. I like to break this day down really simply. Once again, my workouts I like to do are half an hour because of my personal schedule, and once again this is my hobby, so half an hour per day for me is pretty much right where I want to be given everything that's happening in my life. And it's sustainable, it's not back-breaking, it's not strenuous. I don't find fatigue the next day. I find easily recoverability the next day over, no matter if I do a 5-day straight routine, a push-pull leg, or even a push-pull leg and one full body workout, which I have to do this week because of my work schedule. I will be making one more full body workout routine that's also in a half an hour window. Very easy, very short, very simple. Just because this week I'm able to train 3 days and then I'm kind of busy, and I'll come back one more time for that full body routine, just because personally I like to get these major exercises in twice a week as mostly recommended by literature, experts, strength coaches, so on and so forth. It is recommended to perform whatever you're trying to achieve about twice a week. For example, if you want to develop your chest, twice a week chest workouts are ideal roughly for most of the population, for anybody who's doing this for recreation or hobby or personal goals. Same thing with the deadlifts, the squats, pull-ups, push-ups, overhead press, you name it. All the major compound movements, roughly twice a week is a really good starting point to be in. Some people benefit more from further 3-4 times a week performing those exercises, some people less, but for the average person they say twice a week. So once again this week I'm doing a push-pull leg workout. I already have videos up about my half an hour push day, my half an hour pull day, and this will be my half an hour leg workout. And because this week my schedule is a little bit different than my usual one, so I'll be coming back most likely on Saturday, Friday or Saturday, and I'll be doing my full body workout just to finish out this week. So I'll be having the push, the pull, and the leg in that full body workout. I will show you what I do personally. If anybody would like to use this program, feel free to use it. Alter it however you see fit. Once again, I'm not a professional, this is my hobby, so safety is always a concern. Always consult doctors, medical expertise regarding your health, your physical abilities, your restrictions. Everything has to do with safety is always number one, and that's always the first thing you should be looking at, no matter how old you are, what physical condition you are. That's number one. You don't want to get injured. Once again, I've been doing this for a couple of years, and I have a pretty good understanding of what I'm capable of, what I would like to get out of it, and you should be doing the same thing for a long, healthy lifestyle. Once again, this is for recreation, this is for personal achievements, overcoming your obstacles, just to see what you're capable of. And I found myself these short programs, half an hour a day, allow me to pretty much stay on the course all the time. I don't take too much time off, because I personally found out that if I push myself too much, I do get fatigued easily, my recovery isn't that good, and I have to take long times before I get back into the routine, and then I find trouble having to readjust from a long time off. So every week I do try to use my home gym. Once again, from my previous videos, this is nothing more than a simple power rack with a barbell, couple of plates, my farmer handles, which I like to do for my loaded carry exercises, couple of dip bar attachments for parallel dips. I can do pull-ups here, and nothing beyond the ordinary. I have a simple weightlifting belt, a couple of good pairs of shoes to make sure my posture is really planted firmly when I do these exercises. I feel comfortable in those, and the rest is just your imagination, however you want to come up with these routines. It's not really important what kind of a routine you come up with. As I mentioned in my previous videos, there's all kinds out there, as many as the stars in the sky. There are push-pull routines, there are upper-lower splits, there are full-body workouts, there are bro splits, all kinds of things. Depends who you talk to, which is better. There's not one program that is the best, no matter what people tell you. It's what, first of all, you enjoy doing, what suits you, what suits your schedule, to reiterate, one of the most important things is to be realistic with yourself. If you have a gym available like this, just the basic equipment, I myself find that 5 days a week is something that I can most of the time come back to week after week after week, which is why my personal favorite is the 5 day workout straight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back to back, and 2 days off for my weekends, to have weekends off with my family and my hobbies and everything else that's going on in my life. Number one thing is consistency, because any program is only as good as you are able to go back and continue to improve on yourself. It's never good to miss certain days, especially with those certain days that are broken up into specific body routines. For example, if you keep on missing a Wednesday and it is a leg day, your legs are going to be lacking and everything else is going to be lagging behind. So number one thing is finding something you enjoy, making sure you're consistent with it. If you're able to only train twice a week, you have to come up with something that you can do twice a week and keep at it. Everybody's different. For example, myself, I can come here 7 days if I wanted to, but again, for different reasons, I only come here between 4 days or 5 days a week, which is my preferred method. Anyway, let's get into this program. Again, today is my leg day, which I keep super simple. I start off with deadlift for the first 15 minutes, and I just ended up with front squats for the other half. The heavier exercise usually I like to put in the beginning of the program while I'm still fresh, because no matter your abilities, your expert level, you get fatigued into any program. So personally, I found out that if I put the heavier exercises later on, I kind of lag behind on them. So no matter what I do, whether it's a push day, a pull day, a leg day, I try to do the heavier exercise, which again, the deadlift is just a standard deadlift, and I finish it off with my front squats for the other half. So just like my other routine that I like to do, I only do 3 sets of the deadlifts. Whatever weight I'm using, just a demonstration. I try to do 3 sets. My first set is 5 reps, my second set is 3 reps, and my third set is 2 reps. That is my goal. If I go over, I go over. If I go under, that's fine with me, because again, I'm not chasing numbers, I'm not setting records. I'm only competing with myself, not with anybody else. This is only what I'm capable of doing. However, it depends on my rest, my nutrition, my stress in life. Some days I come here, I can do twice as much, some days not so much. So once again, this is just how I break up my half an hour day. For my leg day, it's going to be the first 15 minutes focused on the deadlift, and the second 15 minutes focused on the front squat. Just to go into it quickly, this week, as I said, Saturday, I would like to do one more full body workout, and I'm pretty sure I'll be able to make a schedule for that, and I'll show everybody what I do. But basically, it's going to be bench press, chin up, superset for about 10 minutes. It's going to be a row overhead press superset for another 10 minutes, and it's going to be the back squat for the final 10 minutes. That's just how I prefer to break up that particular day, because I just feel it's easier for me to do those exercises back to back to back. That's why today I do the front squat. So this week, once again, I will be doing, the push day is over, the pull day is over, the leg day is today, and on my full body workout, I'm pretty much going to be doing all those in one day, as much as I can within time and my fatigue level. So I will be hitting these exercises about twice a week for the legs, for the push and the pull, which is roughly what is recommended for development and for a healthy lifestyle. I'm going to get started right now for the deadlift, just a simple warm-up. And once again, for the deadlift, I do like to use a weightlifting belt. That's just a personal preference. Not everybody does. Some people feel it's restricting on your breathing. For myself, I just find it something to push up against. I find my back is a little bit more supportive, and that's just what I like to do. So I'm going to start the clock right now, and let's start this right now. Okay, let me load up some plates, and I'm going to be doing my first set. Once again, as mentioned in my other videos, I personally don't like to superset these lower body exercises with anything. Some people do, some people don't. I find it's easier for me to focus on them better and to recover between my sets, because these major exercises I found are a lot more taxing on the body, so every bit of recovery helps to prevent injury. Okay, roughly I'm at about 2 minutes. I'm going to be doing my first real set. So between now and 15 minutes time, I'm going to be finished this, and I'll move on to the front squats. Okay, that was my first set of 5. As I mentioned, I'm chasing the numbers 5, 3, and 2. So I'm okay with the first set. And just like on my other routine I like to do, I do these 3 sets with alternating the hand, left, right, and left, just to get a more balanced development. And it's easier, I found, on my arms, on my joints. I used to, years ago, just concentrate on doing it one way, and one time I tried just to switch it up, and I did find a big difference as far as it was a lot easier for me the way I practiced. So I do personally change it up, and since then I've never gone back. I find it's more comfortable actually, because slightly different muscle posture, your arms are twisting one way or the other, so you balance it out more easily in the long run. I'm at roughly 4 minutes now, so I started the first one roughly at 2 minutes, so I'll be looking into maybe at 8 minutes, maybe 12 minutes, 13 minutes for my last set, and then I'm gonna move the weights around, and hopefully I'll be in that 15-minute window, which is once again what I'm trying to do, because my personal schedule, half an hour is pretty much all I can do consistently when I do come here to enjoy myself for strength training, and it's pretty much something that I've learned to just not to try to take off more than I can chew, because it's one of those things where, well, basically I can push myself a lot harder, but then my recovery is going to be way down, and I want to be able to come back to this next week to try to put more weight on the bar, and to try to, for example, overcome my previous personal records that I set for myself. I found it's a lot easier for me just to do a couple and not go completely until failure. Depends who you talk to about that. Some people recommend going to failure, some people don't. Just personally, my personal opinion, I try not to chase the failure point, because I don't want to be so sore that I'm pretty much fatigued too much to be able to come back next time. I would like to be 100% the next time I attempt this exercise, whether it's another push-pull leg routine a couple of days later, or whether it's the next time a full body workout, which I'm doing this week, because a lot of these exercises do have carryovers. For example, the front squat, back squat, deadlift, they do have a lot of muscle overlap. So if I kill myself one day for the deadlift, the next time I'm attempting the back squat, I would probably still feel pressure over it, because depends again who you talk to, but some of these exercises, when you really go to failure, it can take a week to recover. So for me, that's not an option, because as I said, I have other things happening in my life. I need to be physically able to perform my day-to-day activities. This is just a hobby, but I do like to push myself, sometimes a little bit more, just to see what I'm capable of. But 532 is pretty good number for me, a set of 10. That's my weekly number that I like to set aside for this deadlift, because I found it's still good for my personal development, but not too much that I fatigue myself to the point where I need a week to recover. So I'm at 6 minutes. I'm gonna be ready for the next set pretty soon. So far so good. I mean, it's a pretty good routine. I came up trying all kinds of routines for myself. As mentioned in previous videos, some of these programs are really time consuming, and I'm not one of those guys that have an hour and a half, 2 hours consistently to train. When I was younger and didn't have a family to look after, didn't have a full-time job at the same time, it was easier because my schedule was whatever I made it to be. But nowadays, when people get a little bit busier, some of these programs do fall apart, because you're trying to chase unrealistic goals as far as what you can do consistently. Always back to that consistency. You have to be able to come up with something that works for you, something that you enjoy. If you're doing something that doesn't make you happy, it won't be sustainable for the long run, which is something that I've come up with this program for myself, looking at all kinds of online literature and trying to come up with something where it's intelligently put together. It's plenty of recovery for me for the whole week, so it works for me. Whatever works for you, I guess, but I stick to what works, and I don't try to reinvent the wheel. Okay, I'm at roughly 8 minutes. I'll be doing my second set, which I'm going to try a different hand placement once again for balanced development and practice. Practice makes perfect for any exercise, anything you do, and it's no different for weightlifting, strength training, anything like that. Okay, I'll be doing my second set now. It's just over 8 minutes and hand placement to the right, and my goal is going to be 3 reps. Okay, 3 reps for my second set. I'm happy with that, and I have a pretty good gauge for what I did and what I can do for my next set. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do my last set for just 2 simple reps. Once again, this is something that you have to practice, and you know what you're doing, you know what you're capable of. You have a pretty good understanding even halfway out through the program if you're going to be able to meet your goals that day or not. Once again, there are days where that 5, 3, and 2 is not achievable because for whatever reason you don't feel good, you feel sore, tired, there's stress in your life. All these things have a really high effect on your ability for these kind of exercises. So just knowing yourself, if you're up to it, attempt it safely always. If you're not up to it, don't push yourself. Don't try to get that last rep, because that could be the point where you're injured or you can walk away and still call it a really good workout, which is again what everybody is trying to do, as in find something that you can sustain for the long run. Everybody can push themselves for one single day, but the next week they won't go back into the program, so it's just pointless. The number one thing is consistency, as always. I'm roughly at 10 minutes 30 seconds, and my last set is going to be once again back to the original hand placement, standard deadlift, 2 reps, and I'll be okay for today. I've met my goal, so next week I'll be putting maybe 10 extra pounds on the deadlift. 5 pounds, 5 pounds. I usually go 10 pounds increments for the deadlifts and the squats, roughly 5 to 10 pounds for the rest of them, such as bench press, the rows, the overhead press, and so on and so forth, those kind of exercises. Usually these bigger exercises such as the deadlift and the squats, most people recommend you can go up in 10-pound increments, but the other ones, 5 pounds total, which is why they came up with these 2.5 pounds weights. So 2.5 is 5. But for the deadlift, I'll be putting 2 5s the next time I attempt a deadlift, which will be next week if I do still perform this push-pull leg routine. Once again, the routine is not that important. It depends how you break the week down. As long as you're getting that consistency about at least twice a week for the major exercises, you're good to go. It's just whatever suits your schedule, however much free time you have to come up with those ideas about putting in only the exercises that you get the maximum benefit out of, as myself. So if I have half an hour for workout a day, I don't try to do bicep curls and tricep extensions, for example. I don't try to do calf raises. I can do those anytime. I just try to focus on those major compound exercises, and I found it works out for me. So perhaps other people can use that information to however it suits your lifestyle. Okay, I'm at 12 minutes 15 seconds, which, as I mentioned, roughly I want to be at the last set for my first half of the exercise at this time, because it's always important to keep an eye on the time, and that way you know how much time you have. You know, if you're running out of time, you actually don't take too much break time, because those little breaks do add up, and if you don't meet your goal, you have to go. For example, I do this right before I go to work, so I do leave myself that half an hour window just before I go to work, and I know that I have to go. That means I will get the rep done, and I will get the next set done, and I will hustle, and everything is okay. I'm going to be doing my last set right now. Again, hand placement to the original way, and just 2 reps, and deadlift is good for this week. Okay, so that was my last set of 2 reps, which I did 5 and 3 and 2. A total of 10 reps, which I'm happy with. That was my goal. I met my goal. So next week, I'll be putting 10 more pounds to whatever weight you're using, and then attempt that weight. If you meet the goal, sometimes I personally reattempt it the week after, again, how I feel. Sometimes I increase the weight again. And if I don't meet that goal, I reattempt the goal. And once again, I do this personally for whatever routine I'm doing for about 4 to 5 weeks. Then I do deload. I'll be posting my deload week. If anybody's interested, again, it's just half an hour a day. I do that about 4 to 5 days a week. Very easy, very simple. It's always recommended to deload. Give your muscles a break. Give your whole body a chance to recover, as far as everything, your mind, your body, your nervous system, your musculatory system, everything has to recover. You only gain when you rest, and rest is when you take the weights down. So let me reposition this for the front squats. I'll be doing roughly 15-minute windows worth of squats, and my half an hour leg day is good for the week. I'll put this belt down. As I mentioned, I only use this for my deadlift and back squat. I feel it's still good for me for those exercises, but the other ones, such as bench press or overhead press or rows, I find it's too limiting for the breathing. But these major exercises that do put a lot of pressure on your midsection, I find it's nice to have something to push up against. It feels more solid, so a better posture for me personally. it. Once again, I like to do these front squats within the confines of the power rack. That's what this is for. No matter what weight you're using, the important thing about this is the safety bars. You can adjust it to your height. Make sure if the bar does get away from you or you do slip, no matter what exercise you're doing, it'll catch the bar, which is very important because very easy to get injured if you even have a slip, you have a muscle sprain, anything like that. This thing is it's a very good investment. Okay, roughly I'm at 16 minutes, which is okay for me. So I'll be doing this for a couple of sets. Once again, this was not the major exercise for today. It was the deadlift, whatever number that was. You would be fatigued by this point because if you're pushing yourself and you're really pushing yourself, this will just be a complementary, basically a cool down for the day. It is still a leg exercise, good for the quads, good for pretty much everything from the waist down. So I'll do my first set. Between 5 to 10 reps is what I like to do. Anything within that window I'm pretty much happy with. The weight doesn't really matter for this one. It's just something for a higher number, lower weight. As I said, the back squat is going to be the heavy back day for this week, which is going to be in about 2 or 3 days from today, depending on my schedule. But I don't like to do too heavy days of back squats because, once again, deadlifts and squats, they do overlap, and I would like personally time to recover between those exercises. Okay, that was my first set. Again, I'm keeping an eye on the time, making sure I don't rest too much, because again, in half an hour window, I personally like to put as much common sense into it as possible as far as doing as much exercise while still getting a good rest period. So I'm aiming for roughly a 1 or 2 minute rest. So I did my first one at about almost 18 minutes. So around 20 minutes I'll be doing my second one. So that will make it 18 minutes, 20, roughly 22, 24, 26, 28, and I will probably stop at around 5 sets of front squats because I leave time to put these plates away. I don't leave anything on the floor for safety reasons, and I can still get a pretty good leg workout for a half an hour window. From most of the literature I've read, these programs can get very long depending on what program you're following. Depends who you talk to regarding diminishing returns, because they say anything around 45 minutes to an hour and more, your body just builds up cortisol, and you kind of hit a plateau as far as what you can get out of it. I mean, if you're a natural lifter, it's really not a benefit to train too much a day. It depends how you break up the week, but too much in a single day, you just hit into recovery problems and injuries, and nobody wants that. I'm roughly at 20 minutes, so I guess I'll do my second set right now. Okay, that was okay for me. Second set is roughly 21 minutes, so that leaves 1 minute of rest. Again, I don't really like to do too many supersets with lower body exercises, even though they're not very heavy. As far as the front squat is always going to be lower than the back squat. You can back squat a lot more weight than in the front, but still, I thought about doing other leg exercises, but I don't have too much equipment regarding doing calf raises or anything like that to be really proficient at it. So again, I'm not trying to chase a bodybuilding routine where you have to do a lot of little things such as isolation exercises. I personally prefer to do these strength training programs for different reasons. It's just to see how strong I can get, how much I can push myself, overcome my personal achievements, and try to increase those plateaus. And again, this works for me. This is my hobby, so you have to do what makes you happy. You have to do what's right for you and what program you enjoy. 22 minutes, so I'll do one more set right about now. Okay, that was set number 3, I believe, at 23 minutes. So my goal will be roughly at 24, 26, and 28. So from the start of the watch, half an hour program for me is really beneficial for my lifestyle. Once again, in a couple of days, I'll be doing a half an hour full body routine. If anybody's interested, tune in. I will probably post that up on Saturday. Today is a Thursday, so 2 more days roughly, and I'll put up that program, the one I do, and give you guys just a brief understanding of how you can break up these exercises into manageable routines that don't take too much long. You don't need too much equipment. I've got this power rack a couple of years ago for a few $100s, and it's one of the best investments I ever made. I don't need to go to a commercial gym. I don't need to drive out anywhere, no matter what time it is. I just come downstairs to my basement, and nobody else uses this equipment. Wherever I leave it, it's always in the same spot, so it's very handy, useful if you enjoy this kind of thing. Okay, 24 minutes roughly, and I'll be doing my 4th set, I believe. Okay, 25 minutes. It's pretty much consistent for my roughly 1 minute on, 1 minute off, so I have plenty of rest time, I feel, and maybe 2 more sets of these, and that's it for my leg workout. It's nothing difficult, it's nothing overly complicated. Once again, I found myself, no matter what day I do, no matter how I break up my routine, whether it's a push-pull leg workout or a full body workout or whatever, I find it's easier for myself to concentrate on 2 or 3 major exercises in a half an hour window rather than trying to overthink it. I found in that way it's a little bit more complicated for no reason. I found on myself it's really I get more out of it if I really pick an exercise I like and I try to really get the most out of it. instead of having to rearrange the equipment, moving everything around. It's just simple, easy. 2 15-minute windows is really easy for your mind to grasp, and that's all it is. Nothing major. Let me do my second last set right now. It's roughly 26 minutes into the program right now. Okay, one more to go, and that will round up the leg day for this push-pull leg workout. Again, it depends how much equipment you have, how much time you have to devote to these routines. There are so many online to read, but I found there's not too many that only focus on the simple ones. It's always programs I've read there require specialized equipment or a couple of sets of power racks where you jump from one exercise to the other to be able to maintain those time limits. But I discovered for myself it's really simple just to skip all the little things and just focus on the major lifts, and you can still get a really good workout out of a half-an-hour window if the program is put together pretty sensibly. Again, this push-pull routine isn't my favorite one, but it is a program that's really carefully put together. Whoever came up with it is put a lot of thought into it about the recovery between the days. Once again, the best to do with these push-pull leg workout days are probably back-to-back 6 days, but for myself, the way I break up my schedule and my week, I found even on a week like today where I can only train 4 times, I do a push-pull leg workout pretty much back-to-back, and then take a day or 2 off for my full body workout. So that pretty much puts everything into the 1 week cycle where it's roughly twice a week you're exercising these major lifts. So let me do my last set. Between 5 to 10 reps is what I'm chasing, and if I meet those goals, I'm okay with it. If not, next week I try to increase my the numbers that I was doing this week. For example, I was doing 10 or 8 or 7 reps. If this one I can only do 5, I'll be sure to make a note of that, and next week for my last set I'll be trying to do. The battery just died, so let me finish up my last set. Okay, if the battery wouldn't have cut out, I would have finished this in 30 minutes. It's about 32 minutes now. Anyway, this was my push-pull leg workout conclusion for this week. So there are videos about the push day, video about the pull day, and this is the leg workout. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see or you want any more content, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to respond. Give it a thumbs up if you can. Subscribe if you want to. There's a lot more content coming to this channel, so be sure to stay tuned. As I mentioned before, in about 2 days I'll be putting up my half-an-hour full body workout, which I do again very simple, nothing but compound exercises, and it's a really good workout in a half-an-hour window. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.